Hello, everybody. And I hope everybody's having a great evening, a great week, and a welcoming, warm welcome for also to the Miss Lovely Julie as well. And tonight is going to be literally we're going to talk about the shadow people and the Djinn tonight. So, welcome, my beautiful souls. Welcome. Tonight, we're literally going to step into one of the oldest mysteries known to humanity, a mystery whispered about for thousands of years, a mystery that has crossed continents, religions, cultures, and generations. Some call them shadow people, others believe that they are the Jinn, ancient beings said to exist alongside humanity. Unseen, intelligent, and mysterious, but are they the same? Or are we confusing two completely different phenomena? Tonight, we're going to explore eyewitness encounters, ancient history, religions, beliefs, modern paranormal investigations, and science behind one of the most terrifying experiences people report sleep paralysis. So grab your coffee, turn down the lights, because tonight, even grab your tea, whatever you might desire at this time. You may even question what you always believed about the darkness. So, welcome to the Jinn and the Shadow People. And I am Raven Mystic, and this is my beautiful, lovely co host, too, as well for tonight, Miss Julie Leonard. And welcome, Julie. And also, she has a beautiful experience about her Jinn, and she's going to share her story with the audience.
Yes. Do you want me to go ahead now?
Absolutely, Grandma.
Well, um, I'm 82. I'll be 83 next month. And all my life, there have been times when I would see or feel someone in the room, like watching out for me, like maybe after I was punished and I would, maybe my parents think I did something wrong, send me to my room. I would be crying and I would feel comforted. And there was a specific time when my friend and I were, I was riding in her car and she had, this was in like 1960, so there weren't bucket seats, it was a bench seat. And she had a St. Christopher's medal. With a magnetic attachment, like on her dashboard. So all of a sudden, a storm came, and the road that we were on in our town, they called it Banana Curve because it went
Mhm.
and then went around. And as we came around the last curve, her car was thrown down a side street, and we didn't hit the telephone pole, the wires come, but the wires came down and they were live on the hood of the car. And the St. Christopher medal statue ended up between the two of us. But this tall, dark man, we could hardly see him, but we were getting ready to get out of the car, and he yelled at us, "Don't get out of the car," and probably saved us from being electrocuted or something. It wasn't until, and there were different um, things like that happened to me during my life. And I lived all that time in Pennsylvania, 78 years. And then my daughter put a tiny home for me on her ranch, and I came here to live in the tiny home.
Mhm.
And um, one night I was coming from the bathroom, and in the bedroom door, there was a huge, like a black, I don't want to say shadow because it wasn't a shadow. It was like more like um, you could like see through it, but tell that it was black. So the
Yeah.
next day, I said to my daughter, "That's very scary." And she said, "No, Mom, that was your Jinn." And how I was learning about Djinn was when I was back in Pennsylvania. A podcast, The Hidden Djinn, with Rabia Chaudhry, and that's when I learned that their their culture and society lives like they can be right next to us. They can be going to college at our colleges. They can be working in our factories, and they don't have to have us build the factories. They can build their own factories. Who knows? Maybe we're living in theirs. But anyways, so I felt calm because I wasn't afraid. And she said to me, "You shouldn't be afraid." And then I was taking a class, and this is the sacred geometry that
Mm-hmm.
the teacher, and this is for um, uh, a mantra that we do for prosperity to Lakshmi. And I have it up on the wall. This is my extra copy that I take with me when I travel because I don't go anywhere without it. And I was looking at the thing. I was looking at it and doing the mantra, and then all of a sudden I saw the face. I saw the face, and I finished the mantra, and then I said, "I'm not sure who you are." And there was a voice like in my head, but also in my heart that said, "I'm Nial, Nial. I'm Nial, and I'm your Jinn." So the next day, my daughter came over and I said, "Look in here and see if you can see him." And she's like, "No, Mom, he's your Jinn. I won't be able to see him." So anyway, if I so he's here, and he's happy that we're doing this. He, if you do some research about him, he was a king.
Wow.
So when he guides me, it's not like I'm a servant and he's a king. He's he's full of wisdom. So
Yeah.
if I have a question, I you know get into kind of like whatever state that is where I can, because I can't see him looking right now. If I concentrate or
Yeah.
meditate, whichever
Mm-hmm.
I use, then I will see him. I will ask him. If it's a simple, silly thing like, uh, shall I eat some ice cream now? Poof, no, yeah, yes, or whatever. It'll come in my head. If it's something that requires a serious like commitment, it will come in my head and come in my heart. And that's how I know when I feel it in my heart. That's how I know um, that he is here. And I don't have to just see him in here. I can also see him other places. And I was doing a live stream, and there was a young man in there. I've never met him, but he said, "There's no such." I think you were in a box that night, and he said, "There's no such thing as ghosts." And there's this, and he was going like this, and I think we all said to him about the Jinn, and then he
Mm-hmm.
said, "My fiance says she sees them in the corner of her eye," and I said to him, "There, she has Jinn. She has Jinn. There's a Jinn with her and
Yeah.
protecting the Jinn. It could be it could be male or female. Not that they really have gender, but they do. You know, they have a difference that we would call male and female. So yeah, and it was like interesting because then he sort of we got him away from there's no such thing as to
Yes, we did.
I can he was willing to open his mind. So that was it. But I just always I always feel I always feel safe. I always feel protected. Um, and I mean, there are angels, archangels. We all have we all have those. We all have guides. We all have um, uh, beings that are um, here to care for us, to guide us. And probably everyone has a Djinn. Probably everyone has a Djinn. You um, you just haven't recognized it yet. I mean, you can be like me, 70. I was in my 70s when I realized that, wait a minute, you've been around here helping me all along. So,
Yes. That is such a beautiful, beautiful experience. And I love it because he made himself appear to you in his apparition. So that was a full apparition that you've seen, and he made that like a. They even say that it's like a smokeless. They're made out of smokeless fire, and they exist in the realm that literally overlaps with ours. So it's like a parallel. It's like a parallel universe, don't you
right.
think, Grandma? Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
Yes.
so. And they do possess free will just like we do. And they can make choices. They can form communities. They can literally marry,
They can
they can
they can be like us, where
mhm.
we humans have some people who are not very nice, and
Yes, they can.
we have people who are lovely, the same, the same. They have the same range of personalities.
Yes. You got some that can be neutral, some that can be, not so neutral. And then you have the ones, for example, just like Julia said for hers, that is literally guiding her and guarding her. Is her one of her guardians, quite honestly. And that's the truth. And we probably most likely all do. We just haven't been awoken to it, and they probably have made themselves known ever since they've been watching us since we've been children, quite honestly,
We
watching
we
over us.
some say that everyone has a Jinn. Everyone has a Jinn assigned maybe before birth or at birth, and or the Jinn may choose you. So I'm happy to have been chosen by Neil. But
Yeah.
part of that is because I was born August 29th, 1943 at 6:33 a.m., which was actually the moment of sunrise in Sayre, Pennsylvania on that particular day. So according to the Vedic astrology,
Mhm.
I was already blessed. I was blessed at the moment of my birth. So I'm just
Exactly.
all of this now.
I
So
love that. It's so fascinating because literally, like I said, with the gin, according to tradition, like with the Islamic tradition and things like that, right? That's where they've been passed down to. And they really firmly believe that all across the Middle East and many surrounding cultures is a story of the mysterious encounters of the jinn have been passed down for centuries. This is like very ancient. It's so ancient.
oh yeah,
All the, yes,
it's
right, Grandma?
pre Adam and Eve, and all of that. So
Yes, it literally is. And like
and
like
pre
grandma.
yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Okay. Like grandma even, she's looking through it like grandma does. She looks through it like through a spiritual lens, right?
Mm.
Like you're meditated with your medallion and things like that. And it's like, wow. And then he showed himself, and then how he came in, and just the message and the history behind him, that is magnificent, Grandma. And it just is. It's just it's miraculous, quite honestly. And it just gives you a lot of clarity, and it gave you confirmation too as well.
And a lot of children are they're not afraid of their gin, and they tell us about, and we're all like, oh, Susie has an imaginary friend. So these imaginary friends that children have could very well be Jinn. Could very well be Jinn. Or all
I
be it.
firmly believe that. I really firmly believe that because well, just like you see children, even my children did that. Even my grandchildren too, when they were little, how they're just talking and they're looking up in the air, or just looking up and looking around, and doing they literally are carrying on full conversations. They are seeing, they literally are. And like, we are in that parallel timeline, and we split in timelines like that, right? And it's very much so, when they want to be revealed, they'll show themselves. And as children, we're more open. We're not more as programmed, and they can see as much because they're more open with their crown chakra and things like that too. I love that. I love that. As well too though, Grandma. You don't just, Also, Grandma would like to. I'm calling her Grandma because to me she is my grandmother, very much so. And also too, Grandma is an author of a book too as well, that you can literally is out on Amazon, and the link for that will be below in the description. And it's called Divorce Your Scale. And would you please introduce it, Grandma?
This is my book, Divorce Your Scale: How I Went from Self-Criticizing to Self-Caring, and You Can Too. When I when I began writing this book, I was writing my experience, and then I realized that it also was something that someone else could do. They could follow what I had done. So it's you'll read my story. You'll read my story, where I went, and then also how I developed the program for you to follow. So it's you can get the paperback, or it's also on. There's a Kindle version, and it's also on. I checked for it to be on Kindle Unlimited. So if you have Kindle Unlimited, then you can look at it on Kindle Unlimited, and they give us a they give the authors a little something for every page you read. Go look at all the pages, even if you don't read it. Yeah. I wish I had written down what it is they call it, but it's a fancy word. So I would appreciate it, and I've been um, receiving beautiful messages from people who have been um, following the plan and learning to love yourself. You have to love yourself first before you can truly love everyone else and care for everyone else. And it opens up a whole new, I think the word is like contentment. Like I could stay in this chair and not stay in this chair because I can't go anywhere. I could stay in this chair and just be, my life is full. My life is full. I am so blessed to be approaching my 83rd year and writing books and doing live streams and doing content and doing all that stuff. And or I could stop tomorrow and go back to watching BritBox. Whatever. It's like whatever you want to do today. I wake up in the morning, I go into the bathroom, and I look in the mirror, and I say, "Good morning, beautiful soul. What shall we get done today? What magic shall we create today?" And the magic might be just taking care of my tomato plants, or my little dogs come to visit, or my daughter, or talk to my grandchildren, whatever. It's like, find the joy in the simple things. But that comes from loving yourself.
I
Don't
so
yourself.
agree. I so agree, Grandma. I so agree. And also, too, to find this beautiful soul, you can literally find her on TikTok, and her that will be literally in the description too, as well as in under Grandma Futson. But also too, she has two accounts too as well. So both of those accounts from TikTok. So please give her a follow in too, because Grandma Futson is literally a live host over there on TikTok too as well, not just an author. She does many things, and she's such a big inspiration to the world, big time.
I also go live on BIGO and Epic. So you just never know where I'm going to pop up.
That's right. Never know. You never know. And also, too, we have another guest that we'd like to bring up to the stage, too, as well, and see what he would like to talk about his Jen experiences, too, and what he would like to share. And yeah, we'd like to bring him up.
And you're going to drop me down?
Yes, we so are, Grandma, whenever you are ready to. But I wanted you to say hello to Todd too, as well too, and just
Hi, Grandma.
whatever your last statement is, or whatever you'd like to share with the audience, and then yes,
I'm just really blessed and grateful for the opportunity to talk about this because these are things that growing up I would have been told to be quiet. Even 10 years ago, be quiet. Now I have a voice and I'm very grateful that you let me use it.
absolutely, Grandma. You're so welcome. I am very humbled and very grateful and very honored that you shared your experience because I so remember the live that you were speaking of when we were there, and we did have, everybody is skeptic, right? And we need to, are because we're human. That's just a part of the human experience. But I remember that young gentleman coming in there, coming in there that evening, and he literally did not believe at all until he discussed it with his partner, right? And she said, exactly. I have seen shadow people too as well out of my side of my peripheral vision, and a lot of people are now more than ever. That's literally, there's so many reports of that. But yes, literally he left there a little bit of believing and actually going to do his own research and literally practice his own discernment with that. But that was a, yeah, he had a little bit of a light bulb moment when you shared your experience about yours.
Yes.
How are you doing, Todd? So welcome, Todd. How are you? Paranormal CPR for the dead.
I'm doing
What are you,
good. It's so wonderful to see Grandma here tonight.
isn't it?
Oh yeah, I'm feel like I'm in the house with a celebrity for sure.
Oh, yes. Me and Oprah.
No, you're in a way higher class than Oprah.
Oh, I don't know
Just
about that.
saying.
I think she's pretty,
I
Mm.
would
she's
I
a
would
pretty
agree.
human being.
I would agree, Grandma. You're way more, you just are, Grandma. You are. So, Todd, would
Uh,
you like to share your experiences
Would,
about?
would you please go ahead and
Absolutely, Grandma. I so will.
Good night,
I'm gonna
Grandma.
I'm
Good
gonna
night, Grandma.
gonna watch the both of you, but I'll be able to see you better when there's only two instead of three.
I got you, Grandma.
Okay.
Good night, Grandma, and we love you so much.
Oh,
And thank you
I love you.
so much.
I'm looking forward to when you come to visit.
So am I. I'm looking forward to that again, right?
Got lots to do.
We so do. We got a lot of paranormal investigating to do, and Grandma is going to be going with us because we have already went to Texas. We just went to Texas a few months ago, and actually, we're planning another trip to go back to see Grandma, actually, too, as well. So, yes, I cannot wait. So, Grandma, you have a wonderful evening, and I will talk to you soon, my love.
Bye.
Bye,
Good
Grandma.
night. Bye bye. Well, I have to
Well,
apologize, everyone. The whitewashing of my face in the camera is actually my computer screen. There's nothing I can do about it right now, so we're just gonna roll with it.
okay, let's
No.
roll.
Oh, so in the words of Grandma, what she just said was, "Hello, beautiful people. Glad you're here. I am Curbside Tramp, aka Todd Callahan, or vice versa, and we're going to talk about shadow people tonight: the good, the bad, the ugly, sleep paralysis, and I'm welcoming everyone there. It's out there. Please comment, ask questions, interact with us. We're really looking forward to it. We also have a subscription only page that's up running tonight, and I'm getting text messages from other people for comments. So this should be very interesting. What would you want
Say,
to touch first?
well, also too, how we talked about the gin too. Do you have any experiences, of the gin to share with Todd about the gin?
You know, until lately, I didn't really know anything about the gin, and
Mm-hmm.
I've been thinking about there's a possibility that I did and didn't know what it was. I just write everything off as that was spiritual activity back then. It was always ghost. Must be a ghost, right? But no, or say, oh, that's my guardian angel. But I can tell you this, whether it's Jinn or not, which I'm starting to think it was, I've had some pretty outstanding experiences. And like one I'll tell you, and you tell me what you think. Because I was driving to Arizona from Baltimore, Maryland, and I had troubles with the trailer that I was pulling that I was moving here to Arizona. And the tire blew out, and it was a really, really congested highway, and no one would let me over. And they were doing construction, and I couldn't get over. And I'm really close to flipping the truck over. It's pretty scary, and it was really odd because a truck pulled up next to me, a full size tractor trailer. Now, guys, I'm not in a truck trailer. I'm driving a van pulling a box trailer. Just to make that clear. A tractor trailer went up to my right, blew the horn, backed up, and crossed over 4 lanes and let me cross over. He stopped, or he stopped the entire traffic. Now that's amazing all within itself. But what makes it amazing is I got over to the shoulder. I jumped out of my van in great relief, and it went down the hill. And I went to wave, thank you. Well, at the bottom of the hill, I'm looking, and there's no traffic because he held everyone back, right? So there's no traffic there. There's no truck. Get it? There's no truck. So was that a guardian angel or was that a Jinn? Tell me what you think.
I think perhaps both, quite honestly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Just that was
Hmm.
that was one experience. Other than that, I really don't know. I've had a couple experiences like that, but I don't know if they're guardian angels or Jinn or both. But that's really the farthest I've gotten so far with that in my life. Who knows? Next week I might one might walk up and go hello, you know. But
Right. Also, too, what about shadow people? Because I literally can talk about the experiences of shadow people. I can because I literally I see them all the time, even in my own home. But they also are they're good. I have a male apparition literally in daytime that I literally um in afternoon. And I literally thought, oh, that's my youngest son just walking through the living room. And I literally thought, but when I came around to the kitchen and walked through the hallway, I noticed he still was in his bathroom. And I'm like, hold a second. That was not him, right? So I thought,
right,
aha. I thought, aha, okay, I see you. You made yourself known. Okay, which I felt, you feel, I have felt, which
hmm
as I am speaking, I do have a paranormal, tool back there, a cat ball right back there in case they
I
do
see
want
it.
to appear, if it flashes, if they do, because they do that periodically. So, yes, but also
It
too,
looks like that.
a female presence too, as well, there also have been reports too, surprising consistence around the world. Witnesses often describe them even human-shaped silhouettes too as well. Figures seen from the corner of your eye, complete blackness with no visible facial features too. They can even be faceless. Like you can even be
Yeah.
feeling like you're being watched, right? Also too, you can also have a heavy intense atmosphere, intense fear. Some people claim that these figures even disappear instantly. Others report seeing them standing silently in doorways, hallways, bathrooms, or even at the foot of the bed. Paranormal investigators have proposed many theories from spirits into interdimensional beings, but there is no scientific proof that shadow people exist as external entities. So, are the jinn and the shadow people connected? This is where opinions begin to differ. Some paranormal researchers believe certain shadow figures encounters could involve the jinn. Others argue shadow people are something entirely different. Some spiritual traditions interpret them as spirits. Others suggest they could be psychological experiences, and still others speculate about interdimensional phenomena. At this point, no explanation has been scientifically confirmed. The mystery remains open. So that's why I wanted to share the topic on it. I wanted to, just touch base on it and things because, is it or is it not? Is it a psychological, experience? We know that it is both. I believe for me, I believe that it's both. I believe it's
I,
psychological, but I also believe that it's spiritual too as well.
I agree. And David W. would like to know, he says, is that shadow people that sometimes I see, like, I feel like somebody walks past the side of my head, I see like a shadow. Is that, he says, he's saying, Miss Raven, sometimes when I go to bed at night before I turn the lights out, I'm reading and I notice someone walk past my bed on the side of my eyes. Is that a shadow spirit, shadow person?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And also, too, I could also say this when you're in that moment and you are seeing them, out of it, you're not imagining that, okay? You're not. But also, too, what are you thinking at that time? Are you scared of something? Are you worried about something? What are you feeling? How's your body reacting? Like if it feels like not so good, you'll know. The hair, you'll just know.
Hmm. Hmm.
You'll literally get
Yeah.
physically sick. You'll know. You literally will. And you'll just you'll have anxiety and you'll have that fear come over you, And also too, not to mention with the shadow figures and things like that. The ones that are not so good for you can cause sleep paralysis too as well, Todd. And
That's right.
that's something that has happened to millions have had those experiences. And it's
Mhm.
like sleep paralysis is like when your eyes are literally wide open and you can literally see everything, but you can't move. And many people literally report that pressure on their chest and difficulty speaking. They can't speak out and they sense that someone is literally in the room with them. And even some even report seeing dark figures and standing like nearby, just like, one of the audience members just asked
Yes.
us a question about. But yes, and a lot of medical researchers even explain sleep paralysis as a temporary state in which a brain wakes before the body's normal REM muscle paralysis has ended.
Hmm. And let me tell you my experience with sleep paralysis. And I don't want to get off base, but it went back to another podcast show we had about the Ouija board. Okay, so this has something to do with that. We're not going to go there. So setting the stage. I am 15 years old. My closet always feel like somebody staring at me. Okay, hallway I hear like somebody walking by every once in a while. The house was just really haunted, and it was because of the board activity. But so I would see people peeking around the door, looking at me, shadow, and in my closet. Now, for my experience of sleep paralysis, it was pretty negative. Okay, so I would see this all the time, and one night I woke up and I did feel like I was being watched, and I felt like someone was literally my chest just had pressure, like Raven said, and my arms couldn't move them. I couldn't pick them up, and I couldn't speak, but I was wide awake. At least I think I was. You know what I'm saying? So that night was the negative side, and that had to do with spirits, negativity, and that was awful. I seen I don't know how many demonic figures blow past my face that goes off to the Ouija board story. Um, but yeah, that's sleep paralysis, and dark shadow figures were watching me from the closet prior to that. So sleep paralysis have anything to do with shadow figures? I'd say yes and no. Why yes and no? Because not all shadow people are evil and negative. You know, we spoke earlier, me and Raven and I, and we were talking about the Greys, aliens, and they're shapeshifters. I believe they would switch over to look like a shadow man, so like trying to duplicate that. And I will say that because Raven and I are doing Skywatch too, watching for UFOs. No, and was it about 2 or 3 weeks ago, Raven? We had the cameras on, and I walked outside. The cameras are facing up. We seen something, but later that night in the cameras, I seen three very tall, like 7 to 9 foot tall in the camera, grays, and they're long legs, long arms in the field. They came up to close to my house and they were gone. Now that's I'd say 3 weeks, just 2 days ago, I could very same area where we were doing this, and I have a truck. My truck's parked in this parking spot, and behind it, I seen a very tall shadow man, like leaning like right up against my truck. Made face contact with it, and it disappeared. Was it linked to the grays? Maybe. So yeah, that's my paralysis through the grays, through the shadow. Yeah, but
Right. But also too, people even reported when you did have your sleep paralysis, what was imaginary hallucinations. Like they can create a very much frightening hallucinations. Did you see anything hallucinating? Did you see when you were
well,
held down in sleep paralysis? Because some people literally have spoke about that. There is cases where people have literally
mhm,
seen, um, demonic entities and things coming at them, faces shape shifting and things, and
mhm.
different forms of animals and things like that.
Well, perhaps the demons that I seen, their faces one after another swooping down on my chest or my face, maybe that was a hallucination. I don't know. It felt real. I do know that. That
It,
very well could have been a hallucination.
right, but also too, that is also with open minds too. It's a spiritual natural encounter too as well when they come in like that, right? And that's literally spiritual. That's a spiritual attack. That literally is a spiritual attack when you're held down in a paralyzing position like that. That is literally, you know not so good entity literally trying to come in literally and trying to spiritually attack you. That's exactly what's happening at that time, when you're literally coming out of your right before your body's in that normal REM muscle paralysis has ended,
Mhm.
literally, right? And a lot of people have literally claimed like they've tried to scream. They've tried to scream. They can't move. They can't scream. They can literally they're just froze. They can't move at all. Like scream out to their parents because a lot of children have experienced this, but also too a lot of adults too. It comes in all different ages too as well. Me
Right?
personally, I have not.
Sharon C asks, are all shadow people dark and evil? My
Absolutely
answer
not.
is no.
Absolutely not. No. Some of them, like I said, some of them you'll know. Like there'll be a heavy atmosphere, right? And you'll have this intense fear. Todd, what did you feel when you went through that? Explain to the audience what you felt.
From the sleep paralysis when I was a child,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
um, I didn't think I was going to be alive in a couple minutes. That's how I felt because I couldn't scream for my mother. I couldn't scream for nothing. It was horrifying. And I wish that on no one. I know there's sleep paralysis where you just can't move, got pressure, and I would rather have that. But yeah, no, I didn't. I wasn't sure if what was happening next. And I do remember me saying, God, I need your help now. You know, I was trying, but yeah, nope. All I could think is, I'm not going to be alive in a few minutes. They're taking me out. That's linked to the other things that were involved with the Ouija board back then. But yeah, Now,
Mhm.
I know someone that has sleep paralysis or had sleep paralysis for over a year and a half, about 3 times a week, and they went and got hypnotized. And what they got out of that was there was a family member that was very angry with them and was kind of dark. They weren't a demon, but they were mean in life. Whether this is true or not, but that's what I was told, and it was an angry relative tormenting them. I haven't heard any other cases of that, but that's what I heard. So,
Right, but also too, witnesses can often describe them too as, human shaped silhouettes too as well. Like I said, they will shape shift too. But your body will know. Like your intuition, your sixth sense will pick up on it. Just like Todd did when he was a child. He knew it wasn't good. He knew that he couldn't, scream out to his mother. Also too, the images that you were seeing, and you were, dabbling into the Ouija board, not knowing what you were opening up a portal, and that opened up a portal for them to come in. And you were, wasn't shielded and didn't know. You did not know. You were too young. How was you supposed to
right.
know? You didn't know what in the world was going on or happening, and nobody ever even explained to you. And back then, it was so hush hush. Hello, it was very hush hush. We
Oh
didn't
yeah.
speak about those type of things. You know what I mean? Or you go on a straitjacket. We're crazy. Now it's more out in the open. We do discuss about it because so many people literally go through these type of things too as well. And literally, how do you think the jinn and the shadow people are connected? Because this is where the opinions begin to differ. Some paranormal researchers literally believe that certain shadow figures encounters could involve the jinn, but others argue shadow people are something entirely different. Okay. So some spiritual traditions interpret them as spirits. Others suggest that they are literally psychological experiences. And still others speculate about interdimensional phenomena. At this point, no explanation has literally been scientifically confirmed. And that's why the mystery still does stay reopened today.
I think because I'm kind of getting the feeling right this second. I think the Jinn actually do come across as a shadow person. I really do because when in our eyes, right, when we're seeing energy in our eyes, a lot of things look like a shadow person. So if we have a positive Jinn that's on, you're like your protector, like grandma, right? So if he's watching you and trying to show you, and you're not completely open yet, maybe third eye not open yet, things like that. Maybe you would see it as a shadow, and I'd be willing to bet on that. I'd be willing to bet on that. Like, when you go off to not all shadow people or shadow men, whatever you want to call them, they're not all bad. That's for sure. I mean,
No, we have bad, we have neutral, and like I said, you would know that the heavy atmosphere and things like that, you would feel that intense fear just like you did and couldn't scream out and things like that. You just know, you have that sixth sense. We are built in with that intuition. And also, too, what now, why have people across, and that's the truth, why have people across all different cultures described such similar experiences if these weren't true? You know what I mean?
right,
And
right,
and why do these stories appear throughout history too as well? And so many people have so many reports on it. Like there's so many reports that involve bedrooms, hallways, doorways, and also too, the jinn can come into a color in a mist type of a smokeless
yeah,
mist too as well. They could
mhm,
come into as colors too as well, just like the angelic realm does, and the
yeah,
fae too as well. You know, and whether the answer really lies in the neuroscience too as well, folklore, or even in spirituality and psychologically too as well. Also, too, the mystery is still going to continue. It still does
well,
today, you know?
right. Well, here's food for thought. So we talk sometimes about in the movies, they don't get these ideas from nowhere, right? The horror movies and everything. Well, how many movies have you seen that had genies or jinn in them and they're shadows? So there you go. That maybe, right? I'm thinking that might sound silly coming out loud right now, but I'm thinking it seriously. You see artwork with Jen, and they're always shadows.
Yeah, they remain in our history. Also, too, if you want to know more about the Djinn, there literally is a video in the description box below, too, of this podcast. If you're enjoying tonight's journey into the unknown, don't forget to follow, like, and share this live. I'd love to hear your experiences. Have you ever seen shadow figures, my beautiful souls out there? Experienced sleep paralysis or had an encounter you still can't explain? Remember to keep this conversation respectful too. But I just love to explore the different beliefs while honoring each other's experience. And I just love to go dive deeper into these experiences too. And especially now that, I am literally, going into the paranormal community and things like that, right? And I'm going out on these paranormal experiences and doing these paranormal investigations and literally debunking a lot because there's so much fake and things out there that we also need to debunk these type of things, but not everything's going to be scientifically even proven.
Well, of course, we can know in our heart that it's a fact, but they're not going to admit it. You're not going to say it's proof, right? We know it's proof. We've seen it with our own eyes. But yeah. Okay, we got another question if you like it from Jill
Absolutely.
C. Jill would like to know her grandfather had passed over 20 years ago, and she feels at peace. She sees a shadow in her bedroom and in her living room often. Could it be her grandfather? Well, I'm saying, yeah, very well. Could be. Don't know, but it could be.
Well, Todd, how could you share how she can communicate and find out how it could be her grandfather?
Yeah, yeah. You could very easily find out by booking a reading with Raven Mystic. Her links are in her bio. We very, very well can team up on that and help you out with that.
Absolutely, we so
I'm
can.
I'm in Virginia. Okay, she's in Virginia. That's okay. We can still do it. Book a reading with Raven Mystic, and links are in her bio, and take it from there. We can get some answers for you.
Absolutely. But I also could to share something to her with her, a simple thing, right? Okay. If you would really like to know if that is your father's presence, I'm pretty sure that it is, though. Before you go to sleep at night, just ask your father to come to you to visit within your dreams and ask him if he's the one that's been communicating with you in there. If and you might not get that answer right away, but promise when it's in divine timing, it will come through. But if you would like to book a mediumship reading with me, all my links are literally in my bio. So, Todd, is there anything else that you would like to share before we end this live?
No, because this has been fun. I wish time wasn't up because we can talk all night long. But anything I really want to share is don't let fear lead your way. There's always ways to. The internet's wide, right? There's always ways to figure out things, and don't let fear lead you. You see shadows, don't assume it's negative. You'll feel it anyway. So if you're seeing shadow figures beside your walk past your eyes, corner of your house, outside, don't always assume the worst. Just ask protection from Archangel Michael, and get in touch with Raven. Links are in her bio.
Right. What else do you got coming up, Todd? Would you like to, share out your
Yeah.
paranormal, you know,
Yes.
investigations that you got coming up and share that with the audience?
Yes.
Close this out,
Yes.
please. And
Yes. Raven and I are working on a project with Rock Springs Cafe. It's been there since late 1800s, 1909. Very, very active. We'll be doing that through the Black Canyon City area. Just a lot of active places. So we've got a big project going on there. We'll do some quickie light lives on here for you guys. But it's going to be a very involved, and I look forward to sharing it with you. If you want to look it up, it's Rock Springs Pie Company, and Rock Springs, Arizona. You can get a lot of dirt on there on the internet, and look forward to seeing you there for sure. With that said, thank you for being here. I appreciate it.
Sometimes the most fascinating mysteries are the ones that never completely, literally, or can be solved. The Djinn, the shadow people, sleep paralysis, three subjects connected by fear, curiosity, history, and human experience. Perhaps one day science will literally answer every question, or perhaps some mysteries are meant to remind us how much we still have to learn. Until then, stay curious, stay open minded, question everything, but never stop searching for the truth. Thank you for everyone for joining us tonight on this journey beyond the veil. I'm Raven Mystic.
I'm Curbside Tramp. Have a good
Remember,
night. Thanks for being here.
and remember, not everything unseen is understood, but every mystery begins with someone willing to ask the question. Until next time, sweet dreams. And if you happen to wake in the middle of the night, you just might find yourself wondering, was that only a shadow or was that someone else watching from the darkness? Goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye.